Good afternoon. We want to pick from where we had left here last time. My name is Cosmas Onyango. So we were on cost accounting, and we want to continue with our discussion from where we had left our last class. Now, in our last class, just as a recap, we were looking at the material costing, and that is material issues. And in the material issues, we said that in the production process, at the end of the day, the cost of the production, the cost of the products that are being manufactured has to be determined. And the cost is a composition of the cost is a composition of labor, material, and overheads. Just a minute. And we said in that class that overheads and labor are a subject of discussion for the next classes. So for today, our emphasis is on material. So when these materials are received by the farms, usually there's a store where they are being received. And in that store, there is a storekeeper. So the storekeeper is in charge of actually receiving the materials and issuing them to the production department as requisitions are made by those particular departments. And we have said that for purpose of costing materials, the management it may be a policy for the farm, use several policies. So these policies are actually what we are referring to as the methods which are applied to the material issues. So we have discussed the FIFO, that is first in, first out. That means whatever came into the store first, when the basically productions are being made, then those items which came into the store first are the ones which are to be issued to the production to the production department when the production actually is happening. And so once those materials that were received earliest are exhausted, then the next consignment is to be used in issuing the materials. And that was what we refer to as first in and first out. And we also looked at the ledger accounts which are maintained by the storekeeper in ensuring that that policy is adhered to. Now, today, we are talking about the opposite method to what we discussed last time. And this opposite method is what we call LIFO. LIFO stands for last in, first out. So last in, first out is actually recommended where there is inflation, that is a constant increase in prices in an economy. So in such a situation, LIFO is applied because it approximates the market prices of materials, so that we end up not undervaluing the products when we are selling them to the market. Now, under LIFO, as I've said, last in, first out. So whatever came in last is the one that has to be issued first to production department by the storekeeper. So as I said, the work of the storekeeper is to keep an account of the receipts of the materials and the issues of the same to the production department. And so that is done by what we call material store ledger account. And this store ledger account just shows the receipts, the issues, and the balances. And we saw how it is kept. So today we want actually to maintain it, do it using a LIFO. Now in this LIFO, last in, LIFO stands for last in, first out, last in, first out. Last LIFO, last in, first out LIFO, last in, first out. So whatever came in last is what is to go out first. Now, in this regard, we are still looking at the same equation that we are using last time. I think this is the same equation that we are looking at last time. Overall, it's a different equation. The concept is all the same. So you have the store ledger account. So here we have the receipts because we are receiving, And the receipts here, the purchases from the suppliers. Then we eventually issue them, and we should also have the balance. So majorly, we first categorize the store ledger into three columns. So in these three columns, we subdivide them, and we have the date here. The first very column is actually the date when the transaction is happening. So the question that we are doing is being shared on the screen for the purposes of enabling you also to do a to make a follow-up. So we have here the units, the cost per unit. We have the amount, units, cost per unit, amount, units, cost per unit, amount. That's that. As you are seeing, this particular store ledger account, of course, using LIFO. We are using LIFO, last in, first out. And as I've said, we have the receipts when we are buying them. So we record them there. When we are issuing to the production department, we record them there. And eventually, at the end of every transaction, the storekeeper has to determine the balance that is there at the end of the day. And so that's we have the balance column. So we proceed, and we've been told say to manufacturers uses material K10 in its production. The following transactions relates to the materials for the month of September 2018. So those are those are the items. It's being shared so that you can actually be able to make a follow-up, so that we are together as we proceed in doing all this. Now, below those information we've been told, for the month of September 2018, prepare a store ledger sheet. In this case, they're using FIFO, but that's not important. For us, we are going to use LIFO because FIFO, we had looked at it in our last class. Then we've been told to determine the value of the closing inventory. Now, in this particular case, the first item is that on September 4th, bought 100 units at that. So 100 units were bought. So the date is 4th September. So units bought were 100. The cost per unit were 40. So this gives you 40,000. That is the only transaction that happens on that date. So it means that at the end of the day, the balancing figure, whatever the storekeeper will be having at the end of that day, will be that, because nothing has been issued from that consignment. So the balance will actually be 100 at 40, and that is 40,000. That is the end of that day. We proceed to the next day, and that is on 8th. On 8th, what is happening? Issued, so 8th, issued 30. So the only consignment that we have is 100 at that point, and what we are issuing is 30. So when the issues are happening, you record it on the issue column. When receipts are happening, you are doing the purchases, we record it on the receipt side, because we are receiving as a storekeeper. At the end of the day, you determine the balance that the storekeeper has at the end of that day. Now, in this regard, we are going to issue 30 because it can fully come from what we have at hand on that particular date. So we are going to issue 30 out of the 100 units that we have. So it is 30, 40, that's 1,200. The balance is actually 70. Cost per unit is 40. That gives you 2,800. So you can see what we had was 100. Out of that 100, we have issued 30. We have issued 30 at that price. So the balance that the storekeeper has on the 8th September is 70 units. So each unit you underline. It makes it easier for you to be able to do a follow-up. So we go to the 12th, issued 30. So again, on 12th, what is happening is another issue. Issuing on the issue column, receipt on that. So we are also issuing another, it's not, no, just a minute on, so the next thing was supposed to be on 8th is issued 60. So this was 60, not 30 as we had indicated. So on 8th, it was 60, not that. So 6 times that is 24. This is 24. So this is, we had issued 60, this is 24, 100. So that is to say that what was remaining here was 40. That was an error. So 40 times 40, that is 1600. So then on 8th, then we have 12th. So on the 12th is where 30 units are issued, the same price, that is 1,200. So 30, what was remaining was 40. So it means that the balance on that date is actually 10. At the 40, that gives you 400. That's that. 400, that's that. So we proceed to 15th. 15th, bought 40 units. Buying means you are receiving. We buy from suppliers. That is to say that you are receiving. And how many units are you receiving? You are receiving 40 at the cost of 35. So you have receipts 40, 35. That is 1,400. I want to believe that. Yes. So 40 times 35. We can be able to add that times 35.
Good times huko na flavor au unasema nini?
That is 1,400. Now 1,400.
Nataka direction. Si ya kwenda Dar es Salaam.
Okay. So we proceed. So we are receiving 1,000. We are receiving 40.
Anipigia nataka direction ya kwenda Dar es Salaam.
Just a minute.
Watu siku hizi wameshanuka bana. Hata kana nafasi unaenda jitembeza kidogo at least.
I'm here, my boss.
Yeah.
Right. Now we are proceeding on 15th. 40 has been received at that much. So there are two consignments at that point in time. This consignment of 10 is at 40, and that is 400. There's a consignment of the one that you just received is 40 at 35. That is 1,400. So that's on 15th. Then we have issued on 20th. On 20th. Issued 30 units. So we are near 30. I want you to look at what is happening here. It is LIFO, last in, first out. So we are guiding by that. So in this regard, what came in last is 40, and that's what is to be issued first. So we are issuing 30, and this is coming from the last consignment, which is 40, which is 30. So it is 35, and that is 105. So the balance figure will be two consignments. The first consignment was 40, has not been touched. Then we have this other one, which you have taken 30 out of it. This is at 35. This is 350. So we proceed to the next date, and that is 22nd. Bought 50 units of that each. So that is a receipt. 22nd. So 22nd, bought 50 units. So we are buying 50 units at 40. That is 2,000. So at that date, there are several consignment now. There's 10 at 40, there's another 10 at 35, It's the new consignment 50 at 40, and this is 400, 350, this is 2,000. So that is that. So the reason as to why we're actually listing this the way in the manner we are doing is for us to be able to understand which one came in first, so that eventually when we are issuing, we are able to follow LIFO, last in, first out. So the next is actually 23rd, and the third we've been told issued 50 units. Issued 50 units. 23rd, issued, we are on the issue. So issue 50 units. So you can see, if you look at the chronological order of the receipts of the material in the store, the last one was 50. So we are able to exhaust it. So we can exhaust that 50, all of it, 50 at 40, that is 2,000. So whatever is going to remain there will be simply the 40, will simply be the 10, and the 10 at 40 and 35. So this is 400, this is 350. Now we have 24th, both 160 units at 43 each. So both 24th, both how much? That is a receipt, 160 units. 160 units at 43. So you do the multiplication, you do the multiplication, and that is 6880. So we have 6880 there. So it is 6880. That is the value of that consignment. So at the end of the day, we shall be having three. We have 10, and we also have 160, which has been received. So this is at 40, at 35, and this one was at 43. So this was 400, this 350, this is 6880. So that's that. So that's on 24th. So we proceed to the last date, and that is on 30th, issued 100 units. And because of the space, I'm proceeding with the last case on 30th by wrapping the last item here. So by wrapping this space here to give us space for us to be able to do the last item. So on 30th, we've been told we issued 100 units. If you look at 100 units, it can really come from the one, because these are we have the three consignments that came in at different dates, and they have been listed according to the dates in which they were received. So you can see the last consignment that we received was 160, and the one that we are issuing is actually 100. So the 100 can simply come, all of it can actually come out of the 160. So you simply have, because it's a receipt, so it's the 30th, so 30th. So all of that can actually come out from 160. So you have 100. So out of 160 was at 43. So this is 4,300. So the balancing figure are actually three there. So you have 10, and then 100 minus from 160 becomes 60. So we shall be having 40, 35, 43. So that gives you 400, 350. This is 68. So no, not 60. This gives you 60 times 43. So 60 times 43. That gives you 2580. That's that. So then you've been told that that's exactly how it is prepared. Then you've been told there, determine the value of the closing stock. Now I said, when you determine the value of the closing stock, these are the items that you take there. So the closing stock value. You simply take 10 times 40, it is 400. 10 times 35, it is 350. 60 times 43, it is 2580. So if you add all that, that gives you 400 plus 350 plus 25, 80. So that is to give you 33. So the value of the closing stock is that 3,330. That is what is called LIFO, first, last in, first out. So I believe you are able to follow, and you are really understood it. Just in the same way, I also believe that you also understood FIFO that we did in our last class. Now, having discussed this, just as simple as you've seen, and you've seen at least the opposite of what we did last time. It was the opposite of first in, first out. This one is last in, last in, first out. Now we are going to the next, the third method, because I said eventually we have around 3 methods which were listed for discussion: LIFO, FIFO. You also have simple average price, and also we have weighted average. So we are going on the simple average price. So the simple average price, so we want to use still on the same equation, and you want to use the next method. So far we've discussed 3, LIFO, FIFO, and the next method is simple average. So the fourth method that we are yet to discuss, weighted average. But if we ignore the quantity, so that we are only determine the average based on the prices that are in the store, as far as the consumers are concerned, then we are talking about Kasungo, close for me the door. So we are talking about simple average. So store ledger account. So ledger account. So using simple average. So we are going to use simple average price method. Now, as I said, we have receipts because we are rebuying. We have issues because we are issuing this material to the production. And we have balance because we must have balance in the store. So we have that, we have this, we have that. Now in this regard, we have the dates there. We have the units. We have the cost per unit. And we have the amount. Units, cost per unit, and we have the amount. Then we have again units, cost per unit, and we have the amount. And there we start again. So we are saying that we first did the first September 4th, bought 100. So what our bought? So 100 units. So the date is actually on September 4th. So 100 units were bought at the peak price 40. So this is 4,000. And the balance there is actually 100 at 40. This is 4,000. So each right entry is a mark. So we proceed the next issued 60 units. So again, there's no problem because we have only one consignment. So 60, we have 100, and as far as that issue is concerned, there's only one consignment, so on 6th. So this is on 8th. So on 8th, so there's only one consignment issued that. So we have 60. So the price is 1. So we base this 40. So it is 60 at 40. And that is 2,400. That is 40 remaining times 40. 1,600. So we proceed to 12th. So 12th, what is issued? 30 again. So we have this is 30 being issued again. There's no problem. We still have one consignment which you actually doing all these issues from. So this is 1,200. What is remaining there is 10, 40. This is 400. So there we are. So we proceed the next date, which is 15th. So 15th, bought 40 units, 40 units at 35. So that is 1,400. So on the balance side, there are 10 at 40, which is 400. There's 40 at 35, which is 1,400. Then we proceed to the next date, which is 20th. And 20th issued 30. Now, this is now why now you need to understand what is happening. It is simple average. So we are looking at the prices. So that when we are using this method, simple average price, you use the prices as the issuing price of the consignment that are in store, but at the same time, you follow FIFO, first in, first out. So when the first consignment is exhausted, then again we proceed to the next consignment, but taking into account only the prices of the items that are in store. Now, in this regard, on 20th, we had to issue 30. You can see there we have 10 and you have 40. Now, the 30, the first 10, you're going to issue this one. And at the moment we are issuing this, there are two prices in stock. There are 40 and there is 35. And therefore, the first will be that 10. The average of 40 plus 35 divided by 2 will give you 40 plus 35. That is 75 divided by 2. That gives you 37.5. So this is 375. Now, on that basis, we have now exhausted the first consignment. When this first consignment is gone, we are remaining with 40. And so the amount that we are supposed to issue is 30. We have already issued 10. The next is 40. And then at this juncture, this is already gone. So what we are left with is the 40 units. And so we are issuing the remaining 20 from whatever is available at that juncture is 35. So that is 700. So what is available at that point is 30. It's actually 20 at 35, and this is 700. So we have 22, 22nd. Those 22nd bought 50 units. So we have 50 units. At how much? At 40, and that is 2,500. So this is 20, 35, 700. That is 50, 40, 2,500. That is that. So the 23rd issued 50. Now 23rd, how much is being issued? 50. So you'll again look at that. We take the average of the prices. So this 50, this is going to go out first, 20, and then the remaining 30 will come out of this. So at the point this 20 is going out, there are two consignments, 35 and 40, and so you get the average of the two. So 35 plus that becomes 75. 75 divided by 2 is 37.5. So on this date, then what is happening that we are first issuing 20 at the average of the prices that we have, 35 by 40, the average of them is 37.5. So 20 at 37.5. So that gives you 375 times 2. So that is 750. So 750. So we have exhausted the first one. Now, once this is exhausted, we are left with 50, and that's only one consignment. And so from that, we are issuing 30. So 30 at 40, 1,200. So that gives you 20, 40, 800. So then we go to 24th. both 160 units. So both 160 units. So 24, both 160 units. So 160 units at 43. And this we got to be, so 160 times 43. This is 6880. So 6880. So the consignment that we have on that date, as far as the storekeeper is concerned, are two. So we have the first one is 20 and the other one is actually 160. So 160 at 43, that is 6880. Now that's that. Then the last consignment is actually on 30th issued 100 units. As you have said, there are two things here. You are using the simple average price, the average of the prices that are in the store. You take into account the consignments that we have, and then you take into account their prices of those consignments, the prices at which they were acquired. Then, as you are determining the issue price, you also look at the first in, first out. So in this case, on 30th, we have this for purposes of fixing that date. So in this case, again, we have issues. So issues is 100. So the first is going to come from the 20th, and at this point in time, there are two consignment 40 and 43, as their prices are concerned. So the average of those, so that is 83 divided by 2. So that is 41.5. So we have issues. So this is 40. The first one is 20. We'll go first. So 20 at 41.5 times 20. That gives you 830. 830. The next is the consignment that were issued, whatever were issued 100. So we have already issued 20. At that point, once 120 is gone, so we are remaining 160. So whatever is remaining, which is 80, is going to come from this 43. So the next is 80, and that is purely from 43. So 80 times 43, 80 times 43, that gives you 34, 40. So the balance will be 80 at 43. So that is 34, 40. And that is so the closing stock is clearly, in this case, the closing stock is simply 80 times 43, which is 34, 40. That's the closing stock. So that's as far as the simple average prices is concerned, where the storekeeper is keeping his ledger accounts based on that method, if that is the policy of the firm as far as the valuation or the issuance of the stock are actually concerned. Now the last method is that of what we call weighted average. Weighted average. Weight means how heavy. So in this particular case, you may have received 20 units, 40 units, 30 units, and so on and so forth at different prices. And so when you're determining the issuing, we take into account the units in the consignment. So in this regard, again, we want to see how do we prepare ledger accounts using the same question, but in this case is now weighted average method. So under weighted average method, I think it is, I believe so, it could be the simplest method ever. Very simple, because in this case, the balancing is straightforward, as we are going to see. Now, we are now using weighted. So the ruling is the same thing, because we are buying receipts. We are issuing issues, and there is a balance. So we have a date there, units, cost per unit, amount, How much was it? Amount. Units, cost per unit, amount. I hope you are enjoying the class. So again, in this class, as far as the weighted average is concerned, we don't write, we just write the units and the balance and the amount for reasons that you're going to discover shortly, units and the amount. We are not concerned here with the price or the cost per unit for reasons that you're going to see for yourself. So we bought some 100 units at 40, that is 4,000. We balance is actually the on that 100, 40, that's 100, that's actually 4,000. Next is 12 issued 60. So it is 60 that is being issued. So 60 at 60, so the 60. So how much is the 60? Already we know that the price there is 400 or 4,000 divided by 100. So that was 40, the average price times 60. That gives you 24. So this is 40. Yeah, when you divide that, that gives you 2,400. The balance, so they just take 60 minus that is 40. 24 minus that is 1,600. Go to the next date, which is 15th. No, this is 12. This was 12. Not, this was on date 8. So it is date 8 that this was happening. It was on date 8. Then we have 12. On day 12, there is also issues and how much is being issued. So on this date, the much that is being issued on 12th is 30. So again, 30, the price is, the average of this is still 40. That is 1,200. So 30 minus 40 is 10. This minus that is actually 400. So that's that. You can see the movement straight away. So 15th, on 15th, bought. How much were bought? Bought 40 units, 40. At 35, this 1,400. So in this case, the balance will be this 1,400 plus that is 2,600. So this just a minute. This is 40 plus 10, that is 50. 1,400 plus that is 2,000. It's 1,800. 1,800. Then we have 20th. 20th issued 30. So issued 30. So 30 there. So 30th issued. You just take the average of the what is this divided by 50. 1,800 divided by 50. You get 1,800 divided by 50. You get 36. 36. So 36 times 30. You get 1080. So 1080, 30 plus that is 80. 1080 plus that. So 1080 plus 18. So we are issuing. So because we are issuing, we're supposed to reduce this. So it is 30 minus that. 30 minus 50, that is 30 from 50, that is 20. So then this minus that. So this becomes 720. So that's that on that date. Then we have 22nd. 22nd. Bought 50. So 50 units at 40. That is 2,000 because 50 times that. So 50 you add to this becomes 70. Then 2,000 plus that becomes 2,720. Then you go to 23rd, issued 50 units. So you are issuing 50. So you divide the 70 and that to find the issuing price. So 2720 divided by 70, that gives you around 38.86. 38.86. You multiply by 50, you get around 1,001. Now you get 1943. So 1943. Subtract from that. So this gives you that, this tells you that because you are issuing this 50 plus that becomes 20, that is remaining. Then 2720 minus 1943. That is 777. We proceed to the next date, and that is 24th. 24th, what is happening? We are buying, and so we are receiving 160. At which price? At 43. We determine how much is it. So 43 times 160. That gives you 6880. So 6880. So 160 plus that is 180. So 20 plus 160, that's 180. Then 777 plus 68, that's so plus 777, that is 76. That's 76.57. So that's that. Then we have 25, 30th, 100. So yeah, so issues, that is exactly this issue. So we are issuing 100. So there was 180. So we are issuing 100 there. So the price you simply divide the two. This divided by 180 so that you get the issuing price. So divide by 180, you get 42.53. 42.53. So times that, times 100, that is 42.53. Now you have issued this, so the remaining is 80. So subtract this minus that. So we have 76.57 minus 42.53. So that gives you 34.04 as the balancing figure. So that is a weighted average. So you've seen how we are able to go about it. So far, we've discussed the four main methods as far as the material issues are concerned. We have discussed the first in, first out, FIFO, and we saw how it behaves. We also have discussed in our today's class, last in, first out, LIFO, and we have seen how it goes. We also have discussed simple average of price, which is the second method, third method. We have seen how to determine it using the equation that we have. And lastly, we've discussed about weighted average, which we have discussed here. So with that, brings us to the end of our today's class. Until we meet next time for another class and another topic. Bye for today. My name once again, I'm Cosmas Onyango.